What is going on, everybody? It is Big L here, and today I'm bringing you another Master Duel. I played this duel the other day. Had a lot of fun playing it. I've been playing an Eldlich deck, which I know a lot of people hate playing against. But I think it's pretty easy to play. Like I said, I'm still pretty noobish to Yu-Gi-Oh, and so a deck that's strong and pretty easy to understand and pretty easy to play is kind of right up my alley. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go into show you the deck a little bit. We have two Maxis, which of course you know what those do. You just get extra cards for special summons. Ash Blossoms to shut stuff down. Eldlich, which is the main monster of the deck. Obviously, what you want this thing to do, you can send it and one card to your graveyard, one spell or trap in your hand to the graveyard, and you can destroy one card on the field. If while Eldlich is in the graveyard, you send another spell or trap that you have on the field into your graveyard, you can get it out and then special summon it with a bonus 1,000 to your attack and your defense. So this is the main monster of the deck. Like I said, the whole point of this deck is to get this thing out and then just try to stop your opponent from really doing anything. So you have Nibiru the Primal Being. What this thing is for if your opponent wants to go a little crazy, special summoning. If your opponent normal or special summons 5 or more monsters in a turn, you contribute as many face-up monsters on the field as possible, and I can summon this card. Which is nice. Raigeki to destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Heartbeat's Feather Dust to destroy all spells and traps. Lightning Storm, if I have no face-up monsters, no face-up cards, sorry, I can either destroy all attack position monsters, or I can destroy all spells and traps. I can activate one of the two, which is really nice. Elixir of Black Awakening, I can special summon one zombie monster from my hand or deck in defense position. But again, if I don't have an Eldlich monster, it can only be Eldlich. But like I said, we only have Eldlich that are like actual monsters in our deck. Also, another thing that these do, it gives you the extra effect of you can banish it from your graveyard and play a Golden Land spell or trap from my deck directly to the field. Pot of Prosperity, banish three or 6 cards of my choice from the extra deck face down for the rest of the turn. Any damage my opponent takes is halved, but I can also excavate cards from the top of your deck, which is really nice, and you can add one to your hand. So yeah, it's not a bad card. I don't think I've used it. I think every time I've had it in my hand while I've been playing, I've just used it as a way to send Eldritch to the graveyard. Accursed Eldland, you can't declare attacks except with zombie monsters, which is fine. I can pay 800 life points and add one Eldritch monster or Golden Land spell or trap from my deck to my hand. And if this card is sent from the spell trap zone to the graveyard, I can send one Eldritch monster or Golden Land spell trap from my deck to the graveyard, which is also pretty nice because I can choose to send an Eldritch to the graveyard from my deck. Because like I said, the whole point is just getting Eldritch in play. Followed by the Grave, just really, really good. Target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, I can banish it. And I can just negate the effects, which is really, really nice, as well as activated effects of monsters field. Really nice. Elixir of White Destiny can special summon one zombie monster from my hand or graveyard, but again, if I don't control Eldritch, it has to be Eldritch, which makes sense. And you can't special summon any monsters except zombie monsters. And again, just like Black Awakening, I can banish this from the graveyard and set one Golden Land card in play from my deck, which is nice. Scarlet Sanguine, really nice. You can special summon one zombie monster from your deck or graveyard, and again, if I don't control Eldritch, it can only be Eldritch. And just like the other ones, I can set one. I can banish it from the graveyard and get one spell or trap from my deck immediately to the field. Solemn Judgment. When a monster would be summoned or a spell trap card activated, I can pay half my life points and negate the summon or activation. Just like in Golden Land Forever, just like the other spells and traps, I contribute one zombie monster, negate an activation of a, a spell or trap card. Um, Skill Drain. Activate this card by paying 1,000 life points. I negate the effects of all face-up monsters while they are face-up on the field. Why this card is one, this card is really, really good, period. Why this card is so perfect with Eldlich is because all of Eldlich's extra effects take place before it's on the field. So I can still use all of my effects for Eldlich with this help because none of my effects take place until before it's on the field. So, in Vanity's Emptiness, neither player can special summon monsters. And then we get into my trap monsters. Guardian of the Golden Land. The good thing about these is they're bonus effects. This one is more defensive. If you want to play it as a defensive role with it, I can make the attack of one face-up monster on the field become 0 whenever I move it from the back row to the front row. And whenever it's and if I banish it from the graveyard, I can set one Eldlich or spell or trap directly from my deck. Hakuro of the Golden Land. This one is more offensive, more, but same as the other one. But the problem, the big effect this one does is I can banish one card from either graveyard. And then Conquistador of the Golden Land. This is again more defensive, but if I'm next to an Eldlich, I can destroy one face-up card on the field. I'm not going to go into the extra deck simply because it never comes into play during the duel. So that's the deck we've been playing. I'm really enjoying it. We're doing really, really well with it. Sorry if I didn't really describe things the best. I'm still learning the deck. I don't know it as well as the Dark Magician deck whenever I went over it. But we're going to get into the duel, and we'll see you in a second. Alright, we're loading up the duel right now. So, as you can see, this is a gold rank duel. We're gold 3, which is pretty cool. We're getting up there. So, as you can see here, we got a pretty good hand. My opponent chooses to go first. Typically with Eldlich, you want to go first with Eldlich because you want to try to get cards out there that hinder what your opponent can do. But as far as going second goes, this isn't a bad hand. I have a lot of options. If I think things are starting to get out of control or out of hand, I can use Lightning Storm to clear either his monster row or his back row if I choose to. I have Solemn Judgment that I could activate to help myself out on the next turn. Scarlet Sanguine is one of the best cards in this deck. And then, of course, we have an Eldlich, which is really, really nice. I have bricked with this deck a few times where you don't get Eldlich, you don't get any of your trap monsters. It's just kind of, it can be bad. So we learn turn 1 what my opponent is playing, and he is playing Dark Lords, which is fine. That's a fine deck. Doesn't bother what Eldlich wants to do. So he's gonna go out of his business. He doesn't do too much. I choose to not play the Lightning Storm because I know when I send Eldlich into the graveyard, I'm gonna be able to destroy that card anyway. So I'm gonna save my Lightning Storm for if things would potentially get sideways. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and set my Scarlet Sanguine and my Hakuro right away, just in case he has an Ash Blossom and he's able to stop me from getting my Eldlich out of the graveyard. So we go ahead and send that card of his to the graveyard, leaving him with nothing on his field. We're able to send our Hakuro to the graveyard to get our Eldlich out. And now we get to special summon Eldlich with that 1,000 extra bonus points. And we're just go ahead, we're free to just attack directly, get almost half of our opponent's life points on the very first turn. I activate Hakuro's effect and get a card onto the field. And so now we're looking pretty good. We've got our boosted Eldlich on the field with a nice way to stop something he would really want to go for, and a way to get an Eldlich on the next turn as well. Things are looking pretty good, and with Lightning Storm in our hand, just in case things would happen to get sideways. So we're looking pretty strong right now. But our opponent has a good turn here. Unless I'm thinking this is the third turn. Unless his good turn is the third. I think this is his good turn, yeah. Because he activates Super Polymerization. Super Polymerization is a really, really annoying card. You have to discord one card, but you can use fusion using monsters on both sides of the field. So he's able to use my Eldlich to make a powerful monster for himself. which really sucks. But you know, we're okay because you know we have Scarlet Sangan. So he goes about his business, doing his thing here. He goes into the battle phase. He's going to go for a direct attack, but I'm like, no. I'm going to go ahead, activate my Scarlet Sangan. I know that my Eldritch has the same defense as his Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. So I can block the attack, and I can protect my life points for the turn. So I'm able to get my Eldritch out of the graveyard. I send my card to the graveyard. I think here he was thinking he could activate this effect, but I think he was trying to use it to negate, to get this Eldritch monster down to 0. But it still helped him out in the end because I I could have crashed into it and gotten rid of it. If this was at 25, I could have gotten rid of both of them and then just brought my Eldritch back the following turn. But I think he was hoping that he would get both of my Eldritch, but it didn't work out because my Eldritch doesn't go from the graveyard to the field, it goes from the graveyard to my hand. So he wants to activate that to get something going. I don't want him doing this. I don't want him doing this. So I go ahead and activate my Solemn Judgment. It is worth to me to pay half my life points to stop that from activating. So here I decide to go ahead, banish these 2 cards now to get some back row going. And I'm just going to go ahead and decide to go ahead and get rid of that dragon. And let's go ahead and decide I'm going to go ahead and set this. I do need cards on the field because I'm going to want to get rid of, as I have the Eldritch in my deck, I would rather get rid of this than one of these because I'm trying to set up to go for game the next turn. And I know that between these 2 effects, I will be able to pretty much weaken him to the point where between these 2 and getting my other Eldritch out, I should be able to win the game the next turn. So he's going to go ahead and Xyz into one of his, what I would think is his big boss monster. I don't know why he was deciding to crash into me here. But he goes ahead and negates my first monster's effect. So I'm like, okay, I'll go ahead and make your attack 0. And I don't know if he'd just given up at this point, but he decided he was just going to scoop, attack anyway. And then he scoops. So yeah, that game right there is very, very close to how you want an Eldritch game to go. It doesn't show off everything it can do. Obviously, we didn't need things like skill drain in order to get going. Obviously, skill drain makes things very, very difficult for your opponent whenever you can shut down their abilities. But yeah, that's basically how the Eldritch likes to play. These are some of my older duels. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I think you guys enjoy this stuff. I think the last one that I posted is like one of my most watched videos. Like it's the non-Pokemon. One of my most watched non-Pokemon videos. I have to add that. It's not one of my most watched videos. Well, it's one of my most watched non-Pokemon videos. But let me know if you guys enjoy it. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm going to post this on Friday the 15th. And if you are watching this and you want to go check out my Twitch tomorrow, I'm planning to do a Pokemon Black Sleep Lock tomorrow. I'll be over there on twitch.tv/big_L_56. I'll put a link to that in the description down below if you want to check it out. And just hang out with me all day. Well, off and on is whenever you can, because it's going to be an all-day thing. we did a Shining Pearl sleep block. It took me about 20 hours last time, so um, we'll see how it goes. Thank you guys very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you like and comment if you did like it, or comment if you didn't like it. Let me know why you didn't like it. And subscribe if you haven't. And thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.